Well, hello there. How's everyone doing?
What's going on?
Wow.
How y'all
Feel like I need
doing?
to stand down so you can see the entirety of what the shirt says.
Oh my God, that's so casual, and it's just
Mhm.
it's so passive, and it's so
It's very directive,
yeah, like
but I mean, it's still asking for consent.
it's polite. It's like a polite, passive aggressive type of situation, but
Yeah.
it's very subjective. Just
Mhm.
it's all of those things.
Yeah.
you know, I don't know why today. Like,
Oh, yeah. What is that voice giving?
I don't
Yes,
know where that's from.
eccentric. It is very me. It is definitely something I would say, and in fact, it is something that I have said on
And
a number of occasions.
we'll continue to say.
Yeah, that wasn't a one time thing. It's like hey, how's it doing? Can I pee in that butt? Okay.
Right, right.
Uh,
Bougie girls here. Wait, bougie. Hey.
hey, that was last month that we went to see Beyonce. That was like a whole month ago.
Right,
Literally, because the concert was on the 6th, so that was literally a month ago
right.
today.
I mean, somebody's been coming in a little bit later. I mean, they've been popping up, but they've
I
been
mean,
coming in.
I guess it's all right. The kids have responsibilities and stuff, so
Oh,
I'm gonna let it slide.
I,
But
listen, I
but
ain't.
still, I'm still gonna mention it though. I mean,
Yeah,
listen, my feelings are hurt. I am in therapy. Not, I'm in therapy over this, but I had no. My therapist told me that I needed to move on, and because hurt people.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's okay though.
Mm-hmm. This is true. This is true. Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
see eccentric and bougie girl and Dallin.
Hey, Dylan, what's going on? Hey, eccentric, what's going
I wish
on?
this was something else other than water, but I love it. And you know what I love? I love my adult sippy cup with the built-in straw from the Dollar Tree. Baby, I love these cups so much.
Listen, I am sitting here drinking a dirty Moscato.
Baby, I have been up and running, and then I gotta be up and running tomorrow because I gotta even miss my barber's appointment. But actually, I have been trimming it short, so she's been bouncing and behaving recently. So I'm going to go hang out with the fancy Negroes tomorrow.
Child, to my tomorrow is gonna look like I gotta. First of all, I gotta fit. I gotta start tonight and trim this thing up to do something because I gotta go tomorrow is my grandmother's funeral, so I'm going up. I have to
Oh,
go, do all that, and so, but I my
bitch, you should pull a Blanche Devereaux. Walk up in that bitch with a red ensemble on.
So here's the thing. I literally have considered going into this funeral with all white on. I have literally considered doing that. But the thing is, I want to be white down with a white jacket and a white, like I want to have everything white accessories, and I don't have all that. So
You don't have all that. You're not trying to spend all that money on it.
right, and I really entertained that because I was like, bitch, I would tear this motherfucking funeral apart. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
still also on the fence about this black suit. I told you I bought this black suit. I don't know what it is about a black suit. I don't like it. It's just I feel like I'm the
It's for
manager
your
at like
grandma, so you'll be all right.
I get it, but I just feel like I'm the manager at like a Fat Tuesdays or something, or like a
I
Ruby
know.
Tuesday, and saying like, "Hi, how can I help you?" And I got like flower stains on my pants or something, and some old, no longer in production version of Skechers from
Right, but
1997.
your grandmother was very well. I mean, she may not have been old school that way, but she was
Oh
born
no,
in that time
she
where
was
you
very
expected to
old.
wear a black suit to a funeral, and if she was alive, she'd be like, "Get your goddamn." If
Listen,
you had come down that stairs in all white, she'd be like, "You get your goddamn ass back up them stairs and put on a regular suit."
baby, but I've entertained it, but I'm also still entertaining the idea of wearing this motherfucking baby blue linen suit that I have because I actually look good in that. And so
Mhm.
I have literally thought about
and then get like a little black boutonniere, like a black rose, like coming in with full gay drama. They were like, that's her gay grandson.
I'm one of one. I'm the only one. That is her gay grandson. Period.
There you go.
Now
You've been rehearsing, bitch. You've been rehearsing that line.
No, bitch. That just came off the motherfucking fly. But what I'm saying,
it just I scratched it out of my head.
Bitch, but these are the facts. That's literally what it is. Now she has some gay great granddaughters, but whatever. But I am, and you know what? Let me take that back because I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out. I am not. That's a lie. I am not the only one. I have a cousin that belongs to my good old uncle.
He's a part of the Legibitiqua.
Yes, he's part of the Legibitiqua, and it was very upsetting to one of my uncles with all of this, and I was just like, oh.
Hold on, let me get my face together. Oh.
But I'm gonna try to lay off on some of that, and I'm gonna need you to hold me accountable for this. So it's come to my attention.
Bitch, I got you together. Come on.
It's come to my attention that my mother's 3 siblings, 2 uncles and one aunt, including my mother, 3 of them have dementia in some shape or form. So I am trying to let it go a little bit, just a little bit.
Let it go, meaning you're not gonna carry on with them and be like, you're gonna try to be a little bit respectful.
I'm gonna try to. Well, let me be clear. I've always been respectful, in the sense that if I have nothing nice to say, there's nothing for me to say at all. So that's respect, because we already know that I can open my mouth and say a few things, and also drop out a few little family.
Your mouth can be quite shiesty, and I mean that as the highest compliment.
Yeah, no. I get it, but I'm just saying I'm not getting ready to drop any of that unnecessary bullshit that people don't want to seem to remember. But I'm a hold on to it. Let me be clear. I'm gonna do my reading correctly.
I mean, not to make fun of dementia, but like they don't want to remember because they can't remember.
So I'm trying. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And in particular, my one uncle, the one that I was close to, is apparently, of the 3 of them, is not far off from my mother. Apparently, there's some.
Oh wow.
So I'm trying to.
Are they in a facility like your mother?
Nope. All the things, but listen, all the things that I was going through with my mother, the phone calls, the repeating stuff, the calling the police, the, not looking at them, trying to figure out, have you eaten anything? Where the fuck have you been? Like, what's going on? Did you get lost somewhere? All of those things are happening to my cousin. Okay.
The cousin you didn't really speak to?
Yeah.
And now they want to be all like, hey, I need someone to commiserate with, and you're like,
my commiserating is done. There's nothing for me. Listen, I've done the things I was supposed to do for her. I have had the medical appointments, the doctor's appointments, the testing, all those things I've done to get her into the space that she's in, not the facility, but the space that she's in, which is that of being taken care of. But hey, so that sounds like that's a you issue and not me. So that's where I'm at. But I take
care of my mama, and you take care of your father.
And so I had a conversation with one of my cousins today who, she was very clear about, we were talking about it, and I said, well, have you had him tested? Have you gone through and done that process? Because it's good to know as people start the care process. And she said, well, I don't know what they're doing, but I'm not doing any of that. I was like,
so then what the fuck are y'all doing then? You just gonna let him till he wanders off somewhere or something, or something terrible happens?
She said, well, he has a woman that's in his life. She's supposed to be taking care of him and everything else and all that good stuff. She's like, but that's it. But I was like,
all right.
Right. So me right now.
Right. You just don't want to have no regrets when something crazy happens. Because when you have dementia, eventually something crazy will happen.
This is all I got. And I don't
But
know what the paperwork is. I don't know what all the information is. I don't know any of that stuff. But
mhm,
I know my uncle and his slick ass, and I already know
mhm.
that he done something with that house already for himself, so that his wife, who he's still legally married to, the mother of my cousins, but has this woman living with him that he's been with for probably at least 25 years. I already know what he's done with that house. I know he's being nasty as I already know what he's done.
But I
So
mean, is it that even that big of a house and even that much money?
in the grand scheme of things, no, it's not. But then the problem is that it becomes, well, legally, I'm his wife. Everything that was in his name belongs to me. I don't care who else lived in here. If you're not married to him, it's mine. And it's going to get to that level. And at that particular point, it's going to
This
be a
is
thing.
why, I used to say Negroes, but white people get crazy with it too, and it's just like, girl,
So
the way people get crazy over a little bit of money. Now, if we was talking about, the Epic Onyx family millions, then I guess. But
so
if
let me
we're talking about the Epic Onyx family tens of thousands of dollars that's got to be divided amongst mama and 5 kids, if that house is worth 100, let's say the house is worth $125,000, the mother and 4 kids got to split that. So yes, will each of you come up with 20 grand or something before taxes? Okay, but y'all really gonna stop talking to one another over all of that? And you haven't been married to this man for 25 years.
no.
I was thinking about, I
They're
mean, I
never
get that they're not together. They're not
yeah.
together.
Mm-hmm.
So, but listen, I'm talking about your family, but I'm also talking about my family.
I know,
You
no,
know,
I get it because these are not just epic
yeah,
issues.
they're not specific to your
These are
family issue.
everybody's family issues. Anybody has a family, there's some derivative of this or option or version of this in everybody's family. So yes, you're absolutely right. But are we talking about the millions? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And honestly speaking, none of these people that are in my family, while they may own their houses, these are not $1 million mansions. This is not $1 million mansions. It's
And
just not.
the thing is that they're not even thinking of how it could be, a little bit of generational wealth, because it's $100,000 house or maybe $150,000 house. If y'all work together, fix that house up a little bit and rent it out, y'all could have a nice little, I mean, you're not going to make millions off of it, but you can have a nice little bit of income, and real estate always appreciates.
Listen, I don't know what they're doing. And I think that's part of the reason. I think that's where my mammy's house ended up. And again, listen, here's the funny thing with that. Here's the really funny thing with that. And we've talked about this. When Mary Alice closes her eyes, any of the paperwork that needs to be signed is signed by her next of kin. That would be me.
Right.
That's it. That's all. So I'm not even, and it was never about any of that. But again, my whole point is,
I know what it was about. It was the fact that you were disrespected by someone thinking that they could make decisions over you, and we don't talk about it a lot because I know that you didn't want to talk about it a lot. But if you need me to take tomorrow off and go up there and show up, listen, because you know how they do in the hood, like they be in the movies. They'd be like, "Who is you?" I'm a friend of the family.
Right. That's all that it is. And listen, I have said this time and time again. And it's very similar to you and I in certain situations. Like, bitch, we will feed off of one another. And so, bitch, when I tell you, when I stand in between Desmond and Eric, when I say that it is a symbiotic feed off of, and it is all the wrong kinds of feeds. So if shit go down, then baby, listen, I already know what's going on. But again, we're not trying to get to that. But I already know what's going on. And the only reason that both of them are coming is because they've had relationship with my family. Like there's how many people can actually say that your friend, your best friend, your brother, whoever you call, is going to have late night conversations with your mom on the phone at 3:00 in the morning because y'all talking about cheaters and y'all sitting on the phone watching and laughing cheaters. But this is the type of shit that my mom and Desmond would do. My mom and Eric would have conversations about the books that she's read and go back and forth and talk about all this stuff. And everybody just get on the phone and be like, girl, I got this new book. Like, really, Miss Harper? Like, Eric, go get this book, child. So again, the whole family, like we're all good. Like hang out with the cousins, the grandma, everybody knows who they are. When I go home, oh my God, how's your friends? What's going on? Because at some point they've been around. It's been talking about 35 years of like hanging the fuck out. That's what the fuck we doing. But anyway, so I say all that to say I'm gonna be a little bit nicer, and I'm gonna be a little bit nicer now because I've already broken down. I think I don't know if I've shared with you, but I think I did. But you know, I've spoken to both.
Girl, you already broke down on the phone. I was like, Vera, get it together, honey. There's no crying in baseball.
But I've broken down. I've had conversations with both of them to tell them exactly what it is that I want. And I think the thing that really has pissed me off is where I hear people say, "Well, I mean, you know, it's whatever you want. It's your mother," and I'm like, if you could just say anything but that right now, just not right now. Like not right now. But so again, that's my intention is to go up and to do my due diligence, to say goodbye.
Get back on the road and keep it moving. You going to take the train or you going to drive?
Oh no, I'm driving. I'm going to drive up. I'm going to scoop Eric up, drive up there, go to the event. It's in South Philly as opposed to North Philly. So which is great. So when I come into town, I got to go all the way up. You know what I mean? I'm right there at the bottom once I go past the airport. Once I do that, then you know, I am good. I'm gonna probably grab a bite to eat with both Desmond and Eric, and then I'm rolling out because there's no repass. I didn't want to have one. I know people are gonna probably stop by the house. That's just what they do. That's what Black folks do. Everybody want to stop by and drop off a cake, a pie, a pan of greens, or something crazy.
And all that food usually get thrown away because the people that willing to cook like that can't cook, and you be like,
and listen,
nasty ass chicken over here.
And listen, one thing that Susie made was all about. She was like, "I don't eat everybody's food." She said, "If I didn't cook it and I don't know who you are, I'm not gonna eat that food."
Right.
That's not. We're not gonna do that. But again, we're gonna be nice about this. So we're gonna send some positive.
You can be nice. That doesn't mean you don't tell the truth.
Oh no. There was never going to be something where I wasn't going to say the truth.
Right.
Nah. So if you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it, which is why I'm like with my cousins, I'm very careful with what I say. Now I'm kind of like, let me just answer your question because that's all I'm going to, because I don't want to go into anything else other than what you asked me. So, but you know, we're going to see how everything goes, and I will report out next week on what's going to go, what has gone on. But I do thank everybody for reaching out. And I know that there are, I just appreciate everybody for reaching out. So some of the people that are on the show have reached out to me about some stuff, and I appreciate it, everybody. So I will keep y'all posted on what goes on and how it is. I probably will be very incognito the next day. Just because you got to go back and replay everything. You're like, bitch, what? So, but anyway, I will keep everybody posted on that. But it's tomorrow, so we're gonna go ahead and pull it together and go from there. So, but anyway, that was that. Now, as far as the week goes, my dirty Moscato's already catching up to me. Ooh, excuse me. As far as the week goes, y'all, you come into my office as a student because you want to know what are the minimum requirements to get these scholarships, because you feel as though we at the Black Degree Factory didn't give you everything that you were eligible for. And I don't understand how these things happen. And so I was like, listen, you got what you got. This is where you are. You know, it's you know, that's where you are. We looked at everything that you submitted. But I mean, what's the minimum cutoff? What's the scores? And what's that and the other? And I was like, what difference does that make if you got what you got? Like, it's not going to make a difference.
You think that we made some sort of a mistake and that you need to be
right? And I'm kind of like, and I said, some of the stuff that you're looking at or that you have been shown has been from families and other people. It's not something that's released from us because we don't release that type of stuff. Like whatever the matrix is on what we look at and how we consider you qualify for this, that, and the other. No. We don't release that because it changes every
time. But they're asking for scholarships or they're looking for more loans and grants and stuff.
They're asking for scholarships. Because
the scholarship criteria is already well defined.
It is. However, the Black Degree Factory, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with this. The Black Degree Factory doesn't publish that information and say, The minimum score for the presidential is this on an SAT score, this on a grade point, this on a. It doesn't. They don't publish that. They don't.
Was this person a freshman?
Yes. This
So they came all the way up here not knowing how they was going to pay for school. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
So, So then while you're sitting there, you put your mom on the phone, which is something that it always weirds me out when people like I want to get somebody on the phone.
Like you supposed to be scared. Put your mama on the phone. The fuck? I'm supposed to be scared of her?
So then they say, well, I don't understand because I have a $15,000 balance. I was like, well, you actually did not accept some of your loans that that are guaranteed, and you didn't accept them. So that will probably be another $2,750 off for this semester. But I mean, that's only $2,750 off 15. And I was like, okay. And she's like, so how am I supposed to take the rest of this? I was like, well, you have the option of doing a payment plan. You can also do a private loan. You can also do a federal loan. But it's going to be in your parents' name, and this is what it is. But I mean, I'm still trying to understand what's the minimum requirements for the presidential, because I didn't get the presidential scholarship, and I'm just trying to understand. I was like, well, at this particular point, it's not really going to matter, but I'm telling you that you got everything you got. So you're asking me what your other options are. The only thing I didn't mention was some outside scholarships. Well, yeah, where are all the scholarships? I mean, do I get a scholarship because, and this is the mom talking now, because my daughter is, because I went to HBCU and this, that, and the other. And I was kind of like,
if you went to Howard, then maybe. If you went to FAMU, and I love FAMU because I went to FAMU, but just because you went to a HBCU don't mean you get a scholarship, bitch, the fuck?
But, and so I'm like, no. And she's like, well, is there other scholarships she can apply for? Darling.
If there are, Google them.
Yeah, we are not holding anything hostage. And I tell people all the time, while we have a list of some stuff, baby, if you just Google scholarships, you come up with thousands of stuff. And I'm telling you, I can guarantee you.
And I do not understand how people are here. School has been in session for what, 3 weeks now?
Since the 21st. But I guarantee you, if you spend an hour a day looking for some scholarships, I guarantee you're going to find something that you're going to probably get. I guarantee you. I'm not saying it's going to be some big, major $25,000 scholarship, but these $5,000, $1,500, $2,000, these scholarships add up. And baby, listen, trust me, I know. I've seen people come in with 17 of them. I'm telling you, they add up.
You see how the child acts because this is how the mother acts. Because there is no way that I would have I don't know where these people live, but clearly they don't live in DC. So wherever this child lives, or do they?
No, they do. I haven't actually. I need to go check that out. But
let's assume wherever it is that they're from, they let their child get on a plane or drive from whatever the fuck there is to this new place, and they're not even there with him, without knowing how they was going to pay for school and all of this other stuff. And the mother is now 3 weeks of the school. Like, what about scholarships, bitch? Y'all should have been doing that all summer. The fuck?
But peep this. So this is the thing that I'm peeping when I look at the person coming in. So first of all, you come in with your eyelashes that are this big. You come in with this band on your forehead because you're trying to glue your lace front down. This at least 22 to 30 inches of motherfucking human hair. And so I'm looking at your nails and everything else with this design. They were probably gel. And so on a maintenance tip, we're talking about probably monthly. We're talking about probably anywhere from about anywhere from like $650 to like $850 a month that you spend on yourself, just between your hair, your nails, and your lashes. Let's start with that.
You're supposed to be in school studying. You're supposed to be wearing sweatpants.
Let's start with that.
And a t-shirt to fucking class. I mean, I get it. She's a freshman. It's the first couple of weeks. But hopefully by the end of September, her ass will be like, okay.
Hold on. But then here's the other part. Okay. Don't sit here and talk about the fact that and this is the parent saying this part now. Well, I feel like, you might have to, we might have to stick out this semester and do whatever it is we got to do because it doesn't feel like that you're being valued here or they know your worth here because you're not getting this other scholarship. And I was like,
you need to know your worth and figure and do it.
Right, your worth is that this at least $750 or $800 a month that you spend on her for her hair and her hair and her nails and her lashes and everything else. Let's start with that because this human hair wig that you got on. Let's start with that. Let's also go to the fact that because you are asking about this presidential scholarship because you said your grades were so good. I'm not going to talk about what school you went to or where you went or did any of that stuff. But you are 18 years old, 17, 18-year-old, maybe even 16, 17, 18 years old, and you're graduating from high school. From a general education perspective, baby, you know how to do math. You know how to add and subtract. So when you got your award letter, and your award letter, it listed all the things you're going to get, Everything that you're getting by semester, even broken up into loans versus free money, but still gave you all the totals of what you got. Baby, I know good and goddamn well you know how to do math. So, baby, what you're telling me is when you got this award letter, you didn't pay no motherfucking attention to it. You made the assumption that somebody was going to give you some money to cover the rest of this balance. That assumption that you made, you felt like you deserved this money and it was owed to you. And that very well may be true. But however, I owe you nothing. The school owes you nothing but great customer service and processing time to get your loans. That's what I owe you. So what I'm telling you I can do for you is I can process your loan for you, baby, because you can cover your entire balance with a loan. But then you even got so slick to say, well, I don't want to take out any other loan unless it's federal because, you know, they're doing this loan forgiveness thing. So maybe if I take out the loans, maybe when everything is finished, maybe they'll be able to wipe away my loans. I said, see, you're spending too much time planning on how to fuck to get over, then you need to be planning on how to fucking get through it. That's my issue with some of the students that come in.
Sure as hell they have a guidance counselor in school, bougie girl, because Mrs. Thomas would have been like,
it's just like it just don't make no sense. And so
it doesn't make any sense that, you know, she's doing all this and she's supported in this foolishness by her mother. And like Louboutin. So there have been a couple of people that have joined. I saw Midas join and Louboutin and Desmond.
Hey, Midas, hey baby.
And you know, Louboutin said we wore pajama pants and t-shirts. Now it was Florida, so we didn't wear pajama pants and t-shirts. But you know, that dress up shit for men and women was reserved for the parties on the weekends and shit. And even that going out on a Tuesday night, you quickly separated the bitches that was supposed to be there to get an education from the hoes that was just there to fuck around. Because it was like, people be like, yeah, you coming down to the set on for this step show on a Tuesday night. I was like, bitch, it is a Tuesday night. We have class in the morning.
And some people's classes was at 8 o'clock in the morning. God bless your ministry, because baby.
And then them Tuesday and Thursday classes that, you know, because the Monday, Wednesday, and Friday classes was the ones that was only like 45 minutes. But the Tuesday, Thursday classes was the one that started at 8 and then until 9:30. Then the next one started at 9:45 and then until 11. And you know, so those were the longer classes. So hell no, you couldn't be going out on Monday and Wednesday night to fuck around. I mean, you might do that occasionally, but you know, the kids just sort of screwed around and did all of that. And Tyra's bougie girl said she came to school to get a man. Plain and simple.
Listen, but Tyra, here's the thing. Now, had you say now let me say this. I'm gonna support you in the fact that you trying to look good. I'm gonna support you because you rolled up in there and baby, that lace, when I tell you they had that band right, baby, I was looking at that. I said, baby, this is some good hair. I was looking at these nails. Baby, these nails was just freshly done. So I'm like, baby, you know, you holding yourself together. Now the lash was a little bit too thick for me because I felt more like
the lash as it comes out of the package is a starting point.
Baby, listen, that fit.
Looking like Snuffleupagus.
They were so thick. Like she doubled them up. And I was like, girl, you doing drag queen tricks. That's what you're doing. You doubling up lashes so they can show the fuck off. That's what you're doing. And I'm sitting there, when she closed her eyes, I'm looking down, I see all the glue all over top of it. And I was like, girl, you couldn't even put the motherfucking glue on correctly. You couldn't even if you had to use some motherfucking weave glue, bitch, you couldn't even put the shit on correctly. I was like, okay, but I let that go. But this has been my week. This has been where I'm at. Because then, you know, it's always somebody trying to catch you in a lie about something like, well, y'all said 3 to 5 days and it's been 6 days. Girl, you do realize it's the beginning of the semester, right? You do realize that all 14,000 of these people up here have the same issues that you have, right? You do realize that when I respond back to your email, then there's 3 other emails that come in here. You do realize that, right? But you want me to call you back. Even you want me to call you back after I told you when you came in and brought your paperwork in, I told you that there will probably be a change, but there's not going to be a change enough that's going to make a difference in your financial aid award package. What do? You email me every single day until I respond back to you. And I gave you the information that you needed, saying that this is where we are. Then you ask me, could you call me? Because I want to talk to you about, you know, what the changes were. Bitch, I done already told you what the changes. I don't have time to do
this. It's in the letter, honey. I don't really know what else to tell you.
Yes, 1 + 1 is 2.
The maths.
Like,
so,
I
What the fuck
literally,
else can I say?
and the thing for me is I try to be as upfront and honest with people, and I try to be, sometimes it's blunt, but I want people to understand, baby, you can do everything you want to do, but about this financial aid package and all this other stuff, certain things are not going to change what you got. Like, it's just not going to change it. Yes, it will reduce your EFC. That is great. You might get some federal stuff, but at this particular point, your EFC was already high. So even if it is getting reduced, you're not going to be Pell eligible. I've already told you that. I've been doing this for over 30 years. I'm telling you, I know what this is.
They don't want to hear that. They want to do as little work as possible. And then when they flunk out of the Black Degree Factory and some shit and it goes south,
it's going to be
they're going to be like, yeah. And then there's this silverhead bitch that wouldn't even try to help me. It's like, girl, no. You didn't try to help yourself. I got a degree. This is the unfortunate lesson that I learned. Two of them. That is the unfortunate lesson that I learned at FAMU. These people here already got jobs. Everybody here got a job. You try to get an education to get a job. And you're lucky if you get someone who is sort of invested in you a little bit. But ultimately, if you want a degree, if you want to pay for your bills, you have to manage it. You cannot say in anything in life. So this is the best time to figure that out, that whatever situation you got, listen, 4 years from now, when all your good girlfriends got their good lashes on and got their good hair on that they finally saved up for and are walking across the stage and you are sitting in the audience, you can't be like, it was that silver-haired person's fault that I didn't graduate. No, it's your fault that you didn't graduate. Because if you really had a case, if you and your mama really had a case, then what you do is write that case up and take it to the board, because you don't have a good case, because the board, you didn't go above that. What you did was just try to get over, and everything about you was saying get over, from this shitty ass wig glue that you got on. And bitch, why are you dressed up like this on a random ass Wednesday?
And it's that type of conversations that I try to be the most honest person I can, but I know sometimes people can't take that, and I understand it. So I'm always choosing my words carefully. But when I said to her, you kind of got what you got, the mother was like, well, I need to understand something because I'm feeling some type of way. And I was like, no. I said,
it's a black school. So maybe if this was a white school, then you could invest in the black students and maybe help them a little bit. But when everybody at the school is black, you just can't be investing in all of these people. So you got to be like, listen, this is supposed to be the Mecca on the hill. This is supposed to be the brightest of the brightest. I mean, if you're buying into all of the bullshit that the Black Degree Factory is selling, and I'm not saying that as a derogatory term, because every school says that. Everybody says that. So if you are buying into that bullshit, that means you need to come prepared. You should not have left your house without knowing. Now, I left my house without knowing, but my father had a check, unbeknownst to me, that paid for at least the first semester. Then they told me I had a full scholarship, but we was at least prepared. I just don't understand how you could do all of that. I understand how the child could do it because they're 18 years old. I don't understand.
No, I don't. Because you graduated from high school, bitch, you know math, bitch, you know goddamn well. If you got $20,000 in fucking scholarship and you know you're looking at a $55,000 bill, bitch, you know you $35,000 short. Not $35, $35,000. $35,000. Now, bitch, you know you're wrong.
If it is to be, it is up to thee. Per Obi-Wan the Father, circa the 1990s. Listen. I soon found out that, luckily I had a full scholarship, but even when that fell through, I came to realize that my father was an unreliable financial source. That the only person that I could ultimately depend on to get all of my shit together was and always has been me. Therefore, I don't blame other people for the foolishness that happens in my life when I don't need to. Now, listen, like again, if you were supposed to do something and you didn't do it, then I'm gonna do that. But other than that, my shit is always on point, and that philosophy has found, and I know it is for you, that philosophy has found its way into my personal life, into my professional life, into my life with Onyx and any other organization that I belong to. Because I was like, girl, the only person that I can ultimately depend on is me. And then you find a small circle of people like you and Volt and Louboutin and others who share sort of the same philosophy. And then that's how we all vibe together, because we know any one of us could handle this whole shit by ourselves.
And honestly, to be clear, bitch, I have my moments all the fucking time. Because baby, I am, to tell you no heartbeat, bitch, I am the greatest procrastinator on the planet. But bitch, listen, I still try to get the shit done. Because this is, I fucking committed to it. Then, but the fuck, I'm going to try to get the shit done. But that's besides the point. I mean, I'm going off with these.
So good. Listen, I hope that I really and truly hope that woman learns a lesson. And sometimes college is the time to learn unfortunate lessons. And the unfortunate lesson that she is going to have to ultimately learn, she's either going to learn it now, or she's going to find that man, and that man is going to tire of her, you know, not really having or whatever, or he's going to be just another trifling Negro or whatever. And one day she's going to learn that she has to depend on herself in order to make a way. She'll either figure it out in the next couple of months, or in the next couple of years, or after the first kid, or after the second kid, or some point in her life, hopefully before she gets to be 30, she's going to figure out what she needs to do in her life to get it together and take advantage of this time in your life, which is really, it's the start of responsibility, but it is really the last free time that you will truly have in your life. Because once you graduate and start a job and start having real bills, or when you stop going to school and working and start having real bills, baby, you will realize that, baby, that was the last moment in my life where I could just sort of fuck around.
And then for others, and I think it just goes into, like, at some particular point, you probably looked at you just in general, as knowing you. I know good and goddamn well you looked at the price tag of FAMU when you applied. I know you did. So you knew before you got there, this is what I'm looking at here. And you had that, you more than likely had that conversation with your parents, like, listen, Mom and Daddy, I just wanted to sit y'all down and let y'all know that I'm applying to the school. This is how much it's going to cost me. This is where I'm at. So this is what the financial aid award package is. This is where I'm at. So I think we're going to be a deficit. So, and you probably said, while I applied to this school, this is maybe where I want to go, but I do have other options, but where are we going to go? And as a family, you all decided, no, we're going to go ahead and make this work here at FAMU. And it might have been might be a little different than that, but somehow everybody knew what was going on. That's what I'm thinking.
That's not exactly what happened. What happened was I just started I got accepted to schools that I didn't even apply to. So like I got accepted to Howard and Harvard, and I think I got accepted to Drexel, and then I started the schools that I actually wanted to apply for, because Bougie Girl knows who Miss Thomas is. That was our guidance counselor at Oxon Hill High School. And so we sort of worked out the schools that I really wanted to go to, because I'm just going to be honest, Harvard wasn't on my list of schools that I had any real interested. I mean, like, the bougie part of me was like, yes, bitch, I go to Harvard University. But really, when it came down to it, I was like, it's just cold. And so I had applied to a bunch of schools, and two things happened. One, we went to Florida for our senior class trip. Mm-hmm. And two, out of all of the schools that I applied to and sort of gotten into or were invited to apply to or whatever, FAMU was the only one that replied and said, thank you for your interest. We would love to have you, and we will offer you a full scholarship. So the decision was made. I never even looked at the cost of FAMU, because the bitches said you got a full tuition, but I didn't know what that meant. So I still came. I worked my ass off the summer between high school graduation and college, because I wasn't clear that included room and board and everything. So I had several $1,000s saved up over that summer, plus my father did, because I was like, bitch, I don't know how much it's going to cost to live in Tallahassee. I didn't know it was like next to living in a third world country at the time, but I came ready. I came with $3,000 in cash in a savings account. Plus, I didn't know, but my father, like, once we got the thing, and he was like, yeah, this is full tuition and everything. Plus, I had already had like another $2,000, well, like $5,000 in like side scholarships and all this other bullshit. So, like, I had $15,000 that first semester in 1989. You know, of course, my dumb ass burnt through that shit with pizza dinners and clothes and shit. Oh, yeah. Do I need a whole orange and green outfit? Hell yeah, I do.
Hell yeah, bitch. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, it's not like I made the best decisions. So that's why I'm also trying to give this woman a little bit of grace, because she's 17 or 18, and it's easy to be now like, yeah, how the fuck do you leave for college without knowing? But I mean, a lot of people do that because they're naive and don't know what the world has to offer. And especially if she's clearly been coddled. So she ain't really had to see the world yet. And so you've either been coddled or you're super smart and people have sort of taken care of things for you. So college is really the first time where, oh, well, shit, ain't nobody going to make me get up at 6 o'clock in the morning so I can be on time for class. Or because, like, I remember this one girl, you know, her father had clearly kept a very tight leash on her, because when she got to FAMU, she went buck wild. And I'm not even talking about who she slept with. I'm just saying that she would show up to class like visibly drunk, definitely in the clothes that she had on from last night, because she had no discipline and no structure. And clearly no one had ever, you know, like sort of eased her into the idea that you're going to have to manage yourself. So try to give people a little bit of grace. But even in that, you know, once you sort of figure out what it is, you need to look around and be like, oh, I'm going to have to figure this shit out real quick.
Baby, listen, that was the trial by fire, because Mary Alice, again, first generation college student. So, baby, that fucking FAFSA form, the paper, the FIA State grant, everything, filling that shit out. My mother literally was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to sit here with you the first time and go through this. She said, now, when we go through this the first time, going forward, you got it. Just tell me what you need, because that's all I need. This is your education. This is important. This is what you need to get through. So I need you to make sure all this. So I did after that first year, every single thing. When I lost my motherfucking scholarship, my ass was over in somebody's office. I was cheesing everybody's office like, hi, oh my God, hi, hey, oh my God, do you have any extra money? Oh my God, yes, I work in your office. Bitch, listen, lost the one scholarship, got two more that was more than the last one. Bitch, I was good. And even at the end of the day, if my parents had never done anything else for me, I went to a state school in Pennsylvania. Baby, I was Pell eligible. I was state grant eligible. Baby, my tuition was already damn near paid for. What came out of my mother's pocket was $600 towards the tuition per semester. That's it. Everything else was stuff that I had to work a bit. So my books, all that type of stuff. But again, there's still other shit. You got living expenses. It's just a whole bunch of shit. Like, but again, I knew what the fuck that meant. Especially when I lost that scholarship. I was like, okay, now wait a minute, girl. What? How we going? No. So we're going to give her grace. We're going to figure it out. But, you know, hopefully
You're not personally going to give her grace. We're going to hope the universe gives her grace.
Well, we're going to hope for that. But I'm laughing because Eccentric was like, he said, when Epic said, I owe you nothing, I felt it in my chest. Baby, listen.
Baby, I felt that shit in my chest too, because it's true. It was like, listen, I owe you nothing.
It's the truth. But by one of the things, one of my biggest pet peeves with kids is when they come in, oh, I'll get my mom to do this and other. No, you, since your name is on this bill, need to know what the hell is going on. Well, my parents used to say, you need to know what the fuck this is. You need to know it, not your parents. Don't call your parents from it. You need to know what's going on with this. This is your education. This is your bill. This is your aid. This is your loans you need to pay back. You need to know what this is.
Right.
That's it. But anyway.
There you go.
Yeah. But that was, that was my all of my week. So that's where we at. How the hell was your week?
Um, I have determined that I am officially going through a midlife crisis. I am not like in a crazy way, but
No,
I have my emotions have been, a little bit more high. And it's all striking at the same time. It's foolishness with work, it's foolishness at home and everything. And I'm questioning not so much my place in the universe. It's like, okay, is this what the fuck I want to put up with for the next 10 or 15 years? And, all of those sorts of things. And I told you last week that I had that moment when I was in Florida. I was like, girl, fuck this job.
Yes, you did.
I had backed down from that. We had a conversation with me and the boss on Friday, which didn't really resolve anything, but I realized that in order to achieve my goals, because again, if you're a grown ass man, a grown ass woman, a grown ass person, you have to figure out what it is that you want and what you're willing to put up with to get it. I'm willing to put up with it. Now, if this is be clear, I'm putting up with this till the end of the year. If the bonuses are not bonusing, then we will explore it again. But if the bonus is bonus, like they supposed to bonus, then we're talking a significant increase in, my total salary for the year at the right time. That's going to pay off all my credit card debt. We'll finance a new car. We'll do all of that sort of stuff and help me put money aside. And so then I said that, and then you look at, the retirement with Amtrak and all of those things and setting me up. And, I'm one of those people that's in their 50s that have like $10 in their 401k and no other retirement savings. And I had always just depended that I was going to keep making more money and eventually be able to put some aside. Well, I have kept making more money, and now I need to start putting some aside because, again, I do not want to be Mitch McConnell. I do not want, I'm probably never going to be worth $150 million, but I don't want to be worth $150 million and standing in front of people having a stroke in live time in front of people at 81. I want to be like, okay, it's 65. I've got $1 million in the bank plus a pension that is coming down. And if I play my cards right, this shit is going to last me because my grandmother's sister just died last summer and she was 97. My grandmother was 73 when she died. Her sister was 73 when she died. My grandfather, my father's father, was 84 when he died. So if I retire at 65, I still got at least another 20, 30, or maybe even 40 years to go. And let's be clear, my auntie Jean, the one that died last year, was a diabetic and had been for 50 years. So you can't just be like, oh, I'm a diabetic, so I'm gonna die next year. No. She died at 97 as a diabetic. So, if you handle your shit, and the medications are so much better now. So all of that is to say that I was like, okay, girl, yes, this woman is still a little crazy, but there's lots of things that I can do in Amtrak that don't require working for her. And also I'm like, just listen, just what did Jinx Monsoon say? Like water off a duck's back, girl, water off a duck's back. I have to, part of my midlife crisis. Well, my issue has always been that other people's craziness infects me. So I was letting other people's stress me out. And so I got to start working on that. Yeah, eccentric side note, MAL packages are about to go on sale tonight. So if you want right now, you can get a hotel room, but only if you're willing to buy a package at the same time. So and that means
again the same thing.
Right. That means tonight, if you want to buy it, you need to have a minimum of $600 because the packages are around $300, I'm told.
Yeah, and then the room or something like that.
Right. and which is a gag in and of itself. But I'm not here to tell you their price model. If you don't want to pay that, then don't pay it.
I'm sorry, they're like 200, like 197, something like two plus.
No, you didn't see that email. You didn't see that email that Patrick sent us.
No. Okay.
That's why I'm not giving whole numbers, because I was not at liberty to say that. I'm just saying it is a number.
I got you.
And then plus, though, when you make the hotel reservation, they're gonna charge you for one night in the hotel, which is like $230. So you're gonna need at least $550 in the bank tonight in order to book that. And do I have that? Yes. Do I want to spend it on this?
No.
So I'm not gonna worry about that right now.
Like,
rooms always open up at the hotel.
Listen,
always.
Week, baby.
Not the last week. Shit, by November, no new rooms will open up. And plus,
but I'm also
listen, as a former president who had to deal with this shit, all you need to do is call the. Well, we won't talk about that anyway. So this weekend, I in addition to hosting MSC, I also had to work. So Friday, I was head down working. Saturday, I was head down working. And then after I got off of my shift, because, it was like a busy weekend for Amtrak, I did a couple of things. I went to Glenstone Museum, which is this bougie, it's not really bougie, but it's this cute museum, outdoor museum-ish. It's a combination arboretum, museum, outdoor sanctuary space in Rockville. It's like on this huge campus, so it's beautiful. So we went and did that. That was cute. That's not what I really want to talk about. I want to talk about where we went to eat. So before we went there, we went to Silver Spring, and I did not know they had a cute little farmers market right there in front of the theater that happens. Whatever the Regal Theater is right there in downtown Silver Spring.
Okay, all right.
On the little quad that's in front of that, they have a farmer's market every day, because we were going to go. I said from where we were staying at MSC, we was like, all right, we'll go. We'll eventually make it to Glenstone, to the museum, but let's go get something to eat, and we're passing through Silver Spring, so we'll stop here. So the farmer's market is cute. In fact, I'm going to go back. So, they have some cute stuff there. But then while we was walking around trying to find something to eat, I wanted to go to Expectations, which is that egg brunchy spot. But it's all right. But I mean, it would do for what we were trying to have for the evening. But that's not there anymore. That one is closed. There's still a few around town, but the one in Silver Spring is gone. In its place is Miss Toya's Creole Cafe. And for the kids that's on the TikTok that follow bougie, fancy Negro restaurant brunch DC TikTok, you know all about Miss Toya's Cafe and spots that's in that like group of restaurants. So I was like, okay, cute. We'll see what it gives.
It wasn't given. Damn.
So here's the thing.
Damn.
Life has taught me that whether it be movies, music, or food, if most other Black people like it, I probably don't like it or think it's just at best. Miss Toya's Creole Cafe was very mid. All right, so here's my review, my bullet point review. Very mid, and very is all capital, so it was very mid. Very. Everything was salty. Like salt was their main seasoning. I had the it was me and Azamek. We had the fried calamari. All right. We had the fried calamari with some bang bang sauce. Okay, fine. First thing is, we ordered them as an appetizer. They bought that out. Then 10 fucking seconds later, I'm exaggerating, 75 seconds later, they bought fucking entrees. And we were at a little small square table. So I was like, an appetizer is supposed to whet your appetite. It's not a whole other meal that's supposed to come at the exact same time. So I'm like, so that pissed me off at first, but okay, sure. They said they had this thing. I don't even remember the name of the drink, but essentially it was Prosecco with a popsicle in it. And I was like, well, they said seasonal. So I was like, okay, this could be cute, like a little, I'm thinking like a little popsicle, like, cylindrical like that. That's like that long with a stick and it's in the champagne fluid or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, well, what kind of, exactly, Bougie Girl. They probably pronounced the L in salmon. Exactly, that kind of stuff. That kind of
I'm going to give me some motherfucking salmon, bitch.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, well, what kind of, it said with seasonal, popsicle. Okay, great. So I was like, okay, this is cute. It's a little brunchy kind of thing. So I was like, she said, oh, well, it's like seasonal popsicle. It's whatever the chef has in the back. So I was like, okay, cute, bitch. This was a glass of champagne with a motherfucking outshine popsicle that was just perched on the side of the glass. So here go the glass of champagne, right? And here go the popsicle just sitting here like this. The popsicle wasn't in the champagne or nothing. It was just sitting on the side of the fucking glass. And the outshine like brand of popsicle, natural fruit juices. So I was like, bitch, you made it sound like these were like he custom pureed some strawberries and made like homemade popsicle.
This was cut a piece out to put it on the side.
That's what I ended up doing was putting it on a plate, cutting it into chunks, and then putting that into the Prosecco. So then that like flavored the Prosecco. Because otherwise you have to just take a bite of the popsicle and then drink some champagne. So okay, girl, yeah, sure. So and everything seemed like it was canned or whatever. So like the calamari was very salty. They had this canned bang bang salt and some sort of this canned
Shut up, Michelle.
Sauce.
Shut up.
It is so that, Michelle,
Shut
that
up.
place is like walking into an episode of Baps, Good Times, and Sisters. I'll get to why it's like Baps in a minute. They also did have a grass wall with a neon sign, so that's already a bad sign. So,
oh damn. Hey Lola,
I decided I was going. I'm in a Negro establishment, so I'm going to get. First of all, why does every black restaurant gotta have shrimp and grits and fucking chicken and waffles? First of all, I don't eat shrimp, but it's just my point that every one of these black establishments has like as one of their two featured dishes, chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits. And there's never anything that distinguishes their iteration of chicken and waffles from anybody else's. Like it's not like we made this special blueberry sauce to go with the waffle has like fresh blueberries in it, and they made this homemade blueberry syrup to go on it. It's just a basic ass cornmeal waffle. When you're eating it, you can taste the sand from the corn in it. So it's not even like a Belgian waffle. So it's like a nasty ass waffle and something basic. And I don't even eat shrimp like that. But the shrimp it's always basic. And so I'm just like,
can I share? I'm not even a shrimp and grits person. Like
I'm allergic to and salmon. Exactly, Bougie Girl, because there was definitely some salmon on the menu. But my thing is, when I go out to restaurants, I go out to eat things that I don't normally eat. And I want to try new things. So I would almost, unless I'm going to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles or Gladys's Chicken and Waffles.
Which, by the way, if anybody's been there,
that shit was so simple, but so fucking good.
Seasoned down to the motherfucking bone, bitch. I mauled it. But anyway, I digress.
But no, it is very that. Roscoe's Chicken Waffles was good, but every place else pales in comparison. I've never been any place other than Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles where I had the chicken and waffles and was like, this is good. I will come back here for this chicken and waffle. Because it's never just anything special about it.
Yeah.
But so I got the fried pork chops or the smothered pork chops.
That sounds good though.
It sounds good. I don't think that the breading was burnt. It was just very dark. The coating was dark. And it was very salty. Everything was just salty. And it's supposed to be smothered in gravy. So, like, you and I have been to Carolina Kitchen. When they say smothered in gravy, like, you can't even see the fucking pork chop.
Like, where's the pork chop? You're like, bitch, oh, it's in there. There you go.
Right. Baby, this was not a smothered pork chop. This was a drizzled.
Or was it a spramped pork chop?
It was a spramped pork chop. A gravy spramped pork chop.
Okay.
And I mean, and it was just salty. It didn't really have a ton of flavor, just salt. Now, I will tell you that ice cold salty pork chop the next day was delicious.
Baby, listen, I keep telling you about cold pork chops, cold chicken, and cold pizza, baby.
Listen. Okay. Now, when it was hot, it was just not my thing. But the next day, when I was in that hotel room and didn't have nothing to eat, and I pulled out that cold pork chop and took a bite, and I was like, God damn, this ain't the same pork chop I had yesterday, because this is delicious.
Boochie, shut the hell up. You're a clown.
H Street's chicken and waffles has a chokehold on me. I am about to try that out, so I will definitely add that to the list. All right, so the grits were not bad, although they were very solid. Like the grits, like when they put them on the plate, they had structure to them. You know, meaning like, you know, you got like a pile of grits, and it wasn't like you just sort of took your spoon and did it. It was like you cut a section out of this grit loaf.
That was some cold motherfucking grits.
They were warm, but they were solid, a solid mass.
Okay.
So, I don't dislike other kinds of cheese, but I'm very particular that I usually like if like my scrambled eggs with American cheese. So much so that if you tell me we don't have American, we have cheddar, I will usually just be like, okay, just give me the plain scrambled eggs. Which is why I always specifically say I would like my eggs scrambled with American cheese, which is your opportunity to say we only have Gouda, cheddar, and Colby Jack. Because then I might take them with Gouda. I might even take them with cheddar. But if I say American cheese, I expect these eggs to come to the table with American cheese, not Colby Jack.
Absolutely.
So I was annoyed about that. Now, this is why the spot reminded me of Baps, because I cannot wait for this trend of baby hair to die. I just cannot. She had these old scalloped, multi-level baby hair that was fresh like 3 weeks ago, but them shits had dried and separated from her scalp. So
they sit in perpendicular to the
they weren't like laid like this. They were like kind of, so they should have been flat against her head, but they were tilted out at like a 15-degree angle from the plane of her scalp.
Oh God.
And they were not very, but very distracting to me. Very distracting to me.
Wait a minute. That brings back a memory of in Philadelphia, and Desmond testified to this. In Philadelphia, we would go to the motherfucking Midtown, and it wasn't Miss Gladys. I think it was Miss Doris. Miss Doris, I think it was. Baby, she said, I ain't paying. These old girls playing for these motherfucking gel, and they putting their baby here. She said, fuck that shit. I gets me some motherfucking lotion, and I swirls my shit around. That's what I do. Baby, she ain't had not near piece of hair. It was all pulled back in the ponytail, but all of this was all of this. Oh, anyway, I digress. Go ahead.
And so this is one of those spots that add an automatic 20% gratuity.
Was it a table of 8 or more or something? Or like what? I mean, what are we talking about?
For everybody, because it was just me and Azamat. So the bill was like, it really wasn't that bad for, 2 drinks, an appetizer, and 2 full meals. It was like $115. That was with the 20% on top.
Okay.
So
All right.
and let's say the bill was like $115.78. I rounded that shit up 22 cents and kept it moving. Because if you're going to round up, then that's all you're. I mean, if you're going to give me an automatic gratuity, then that's usually all you're getting.
I'm not giving you.
And now I get why you round up or why you have automatic gratuity for a big party. But if it's a small party, that roundup usually does not work out in my favor because every place that I've been to that has that automatic gratuity added on, the service never even justifies the 20%, let alone anything more. But sure. I already talked about why all black restaurants have to have shrimp and grits and chicken and waffles. But then the name of the spot is Miss Toya's Creole Cafe, but nothing on the menu was particularly Creole. Like, and I mean, I know that like red beans and rice and gumbo and all that is Cajun, but to most people, if you don't live in Louisiana, that don't mean that's a distinction without a difference. If you see someone saying we got a Creole spot, they expect to see red beans and rice or whatever. And I mean, I understand that Creole cuisine and Cajun cuisine are different, but to me, nothing on the menu was particularly Creole. It was just all black food. So anyway. So, will I ever be going back to Miss Toya's Creole Cafe? Probably not.
Yeah, well, you know.
And then, so MSC was cute. I had a good time. I ended up having to cancel my class on Saturday because I had to work, but I still emceed Thursday night, Friday night, and Sunday night. And Sunday night, we had the auction. Auction was going fine until the auction was to benefit Slave Paul, because he had some health challenges and setbacks, right? So then this one woman, a self-described leather dyke, so I'm not like calling her out of her name, she got up on the stage and so like, we have this thing that we're doing, and we're going to auction this guy's clothes right off of him. And she looked at me, Dominion Onyx, at me, and said, now I know you're not used to doing this kind of auction. And I was like,
so clearly she don't know who you are. Okay.
I was like,
all right.
All those pictures, that's me on stage for the past 15 years, auctioning the clothes right off of men's and women's bodies. But sure, I'm gonna let you do this. So, and I'm not going to say the way that she did it. It was chaotic. So it should have been, we're going to auction off each piece and then whatever. But they were like, we're just going to pass this hat around, and then once we get an X amount of dollars, we're going to take all of the clothes off. But then I was like, this isn't really going. So, because she took the mic out of my hand. And, this is not my scene. I'm just an invited guest here. I'm the help at this event. And I ain't want to piss off nobody or whatever. So I was like, whatever. But then Mr. Blue and Brew Floss are looking at me from the stage like, bitch, if you don't get that motherfucking mic back from this bitch's hand. So I was like, and so.
Don't wear these numbers like, and.
Right. And so we're auctioning off. But I mean, it was all in fun. So I didn't really like raise a fuss because it just wasn't all of that. But they had invited this short, I don't want to say little because that sounds derogatory. This master, he was Latino and he was short. So, of course I was in love. And this is the person that they're taking all of his clothes off. So I'm standing behind him. This man proceeds to bend over and work his ass. Here's my dick. Now my dick is not this big, but you get my point. Here's my dick. Here's his ass. Rubbing up and down my ass as he is taking his clothes off. And I'm like,
Like this is a test, right, y'all? This is a is there? I'm on camera.
You're testing, Lord. You were testing me. You were testing me. This,
I'm
this,
on camera.
I'm on. This is punked. I'm on punked. Okay, I'm on punked. Okay, I got it. I'm on punked.
Yeah. Ridiculousness.
So, we got his clothes. We were getting his clothes off, but then we had only raised like $1,000, and then they was about to let this man get totally naked on stage. And I took the mic back, and I was like, no, 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 no. Hold on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There is no way that you are going to see a sight that only his slave and his mama have seen
Without
for only $1,000.
right, without giving us some extra motherfucking money.
So I was like, if we don't get the $1,300, he is not taking off all of his clothes. And then so we got all that money, and then he took off the rest of his clothes. But and then and so there was part of it where it was like I was like, okay, we want to give him a show. So you know what I did? Oh no! I dropped my handkerchief. Now, most of these straight people had never seen that, but the few gays in the audience knew exactly what was going on. And some of the straight people did too, because I mean, it's clearly what the fuck I was doing. And so it was all in good fun. So we ended up raising almost $1,500 for Paul's fund. So that was a fun thing. And then they had a contest also for Northeast Master and Slave. And it's sometimes when you have a contest, there's only one contestant. In this case, it's a couple. So there's a master and a slave. And just because you have a contest with one couple does not mean you have a winner.
That is correct.
And in this case, there was not a winner, because even for any contest, regardless of how many contestants you have, in order to win, they establish a minimum number of points that you have to get. And the couple that was in competition did not get the minimum number of points, so they ended up not having a winner for the contest.
So awkward. And then how do you oh, sorry. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
I didn't have to do anything. There was more things on the page to say. I was supposed to say, congratulations to our winners, but obviously that didn't happen. So Mr. Blue got up there and said exactly what I said. Whenever there's a contest, there's a minimum number of points that you have to get. And unfortunately, our contestants did not get the minimum number of points. And then there was like silence in the room. And basically it was like, thank y'all for coming out. God bless you and good night. And so it was a little awkward, but they handled it the best way they could. And this to be clear, Mr. Blue and Blue Frost are the contestant producers. They were not on the judging panel. So, and I think it was integrity, because it's like, if you establish, and all of those rules are put out there ahead of time, the scoring sheets were, available to whomever. I don't think they were available to everyone, but, it was a thing. It's 9:15. We have talked about a lot of stuff today. The one thing, so I had never heard of Mike Williams because I don't follow the hockey. He was not a hockey player. He actually he died. So
who Mike Williams is?
He's a former NFL receiver who had 26 touchdowns over a 5-season career, mostly with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Huffington Post reported earlier that he had died, citing a confirmation on Williams' death from a Buffalo TV stations. A GoFundMe written by the former player's father, Wendell Muhammad, details Williams' tragedy, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. The mother, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. All right, Williams, who played college ball at Syracuse, entered the league in 2010 and was Offensive Rookie of the Year runner-up with the Buccaneers. He played 3 more seasons in Tampa and even signed a $40.25 million contract extension with the team. He played with for the hometown Buffalo Bills in his last season in 2014. Yada yada, blah blah blah. So the reason that I am bringing up this story. So, what I forgot to mention is that he died at a accident on a construction job that he was working.
Oh shit. Okay. Listen,
so
we're gonna go with that.
I had questions. You signed, and this is like a teachable moment about how we manage our money. You signed a $40.25 million contract extension in 2012, I think it did. So maybe you didn't get all $40 million, but you got at least several $1 million. And then you got enough money at Buffalo. But you were killed working a construction job, and your father has a GoFundMe.
This sounds like some shenanigans and almost like a type of shit going on.
Some of the math ain't mathing, and ultimately it's not my responsibility to make it math. But it was just, to me, like, immediately my thing was like, okay, ex-NFL player died after a gruesome injury at construction job. It's like, okay, so maybe he was on the site, he owned the project, he was building something. No, at least the way this story reads, this dude was working a construction job. So how do you go from a $40.25 million contract to working construction? You know, I'm just like,
he got a job.
Decisions. So anyway, what stories did you want to hit? We might not be able to get to everything, but
so listen, I'm gonna talk about this funny one first. Listen, I always pronounce her name incorrectly, but I think it's Krishan. So Krishan Rock gives birth on Instagram Live. Listen, if you don't know who Krishan Rock is, it's Krishan and Blueface. She's the young lady that is in love with this rapper, and she's missing a tooth, and she will fight about that man all the time. So if you know who I'm talking about,
is this the same woman we were talking about last week?
I don't think I talked about her specifically, but she's definitely.
We talked about some other fighting bitch last week.
Yeah, we talked about Sky last week. No, but this is Krishan. Okay. Sky was way before Krishan and Krishan and Blueface. Well, anyway, so she's now a mom, and she gave birth to her son on Instagram Live. She was live streaming the delivery Sunday from her Instagram account. And so first of all, she was in a hospital bed, and then she was screaming while she was pushing and everything else. And eventually she cried tears of joy. But the baby appears to be, okay and doing well or whatever. But at one point on her Instagram, you heard Krishan could be heard saying, "Get this nigga out, get it out." Now, the baby daddy, Blueface, was nowhere to be seen in her video, and the footage that was circulating of him online right now that appears to show him in a different city entirely. And he also has a new girlfriend. And he's also made it clear that throughout this whole thing that Krishan isn't his number one anymore. And he's been confronted with paternity. Now, he has other kids from other women, but again, Krishan was actually out there delivering his baby on Instagram Live. And the part that tickled me was, "Get this nigga out of me." That's why I just couldn't get myself together. Jeez, so funny. Lil Rel took a bathroom break at the Beyonce concert and nearly ruined his proposal. He was at the Beyonce concert, and he was going to propose to his girlfriend, Daniela Lane, at Beyonce's concert Monday night at SoFi Stadium. He says Jay-Z and Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles, advised him to do it when she sang Level on Top, and they arranged to get the moment on the stadium's big screen. So it's funny, Lil Rel says that he was waiting for the songs for so long, he finally needed to break the seal. And as soon as he got to the bathroom, Love on Top started playing. So he said he finished his biz and he rushed back to his woman, but he couldn't find their seats. So with the clock literally ticking, Lil Rel says he had to go back out and retrace his step. And when he finally got back to his seats, a cameraman was waiting, and Beyonce was motioning for him to get on with the proposal because she was dragging out the song. And it all worked out. Since Daniela said yes, and he tells us how he plans how the plan to propose really came together this minute. As for whether Bay's forgiven his tardiness, we'll let him tell it. So I don't know.
Can we just be like, what if she had been like,
Love on Top? Thank you. Listen, I'll be right back. I'm doing a costume change. Bye.
Beyonce would be like, cut the camera. Cut the camera. See, they'd be like, cut the camera.
Right.
Cut that motherfucking camera.
Listen, he did. I get it. But a lot of these places are confusing when you go to them, because even at FedEx Field, if you weren't paying attention, everything looks like everything. Like every entrance looks like
You're
the same.
sort of like following everybody else, and you sort of
Yeah.
stumble into your seat or whatever in the rush of excitement or whatever. But also, to me, those sort of public proposals to me are always like stunts to me.
Well,
Because they feel impersonal. And I mean, I guess some women and even some dudes like that. But if somebody's going to propose to me, like I've seen like people propose at like IML, like not at IML, but backstage at IML, one person proposed to another. And I was like, you just met most of these dudes like a couple of months ago when you all became title holders, and now you're choosing this moment. And listen, people talk about the brotherhood of the medal and all that other bullshit. I mean, I guess, but for me, my ideal proposal isn't necessarily like just me and him, but it ain't like a room full of strangers either.
Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's gonna do shit differently. If this is a marriage, I don't know. That is not my first thought to do. I don't want. First of all, now you should be with the person that you're gonna be with, and I understand all that. But maybe let's just say y'all done had an argument. Y'all done got like. I feel like I'd be with somebody petty enough to be like, if I propose to them in public, they'd be like, no. Like, bitch, what? So for fear of embarrassment, I ain't doing that shit in front of no live motherfucking camera in front of Beyonce, the whole Beyonce internets and peoples. Hell no.
No. For me, it just, for me, that is a very intimate and personal moment. And even if I'm 100% assured that he's going to say yes, I still just don't necessarily want to share it with like millions of strangers. That just doesn't feel intimate and romantic and personal to me. But some people like those sort of big displays or whatever. And to be clear, I used to be that person, but that just never really worked out to me. I always ended up being the person that made the big key, like before Azamek, like the people that I thought I was in love with, like I would have made those sort of big kind of gestures for them, but it wouldn't be reciprocated, or they might have said no, or just it would have just been crazy. So for me now, I feel like it would be different if I said, okay, girl, I'm gonna propose to I don't even want to say this out loud because now the girl's gonna be like, Biggie said he's gonna propose. But like if I got you and Volt and Papa and like a group of like 10 people and we all just went out, and then I got down on one knee, because you all are the people that I feel closest to, and I want you there to witness as I am being the most vulnerable and extending my heart to someone. But just to do it in front of a bunch of random strangers, I mean, I guess. But that's also the same reason why, like, let's say someone proposed to me and they was like, I got you this ring. This ring costs $10,000. I'd be like, you spent $9,500 too much on this ring. And even $500 is too much for that, because you should know me well enough, if you're going to ask me to marry me, if you're going to propose marriage to me, that kind of shit doesn't mean anything to me. And I would be mad that we could have gone on a $10,000 honeymoon with this $200 ring versus this $10,000 ring, and we're going to Fort Lauderdale for the honeymoon.
Now, I'm going to go ahead on and tell people they're going to spend their money how they spend their money.
That's true.
I ain't going to lie about that. But I'm going to tell you this. Some things I'm not going to necessarily say I'm a size queen, but listen, I need this ring to have some meaning, and I need you to show me what this meaning is. I don't need, 12 carats and all that type of stuff, but I'm going to need like a carat or something. I'm going to need like a carat or something. A carat or two possibly.
Okay.
But again, I don't need you to do like a $10,000. No, so $10,000, absolutely not. But yeah, you can show me a little love.
Yeah, I'm not talking about pulling the shit out of a fucking Cracker Jack box either. But I mean, you get me a ring that costs $200 to $500 that is nice. Maybe it's in my favorite stone or in my favorite color. He's like, I found this orange opal or whatever, because I know orange is your favorite color. And you tell me that meaning behind it. Maybe I'm totally fine. But if you're like, baby, I got you this ring and it's this $10,000 ring, or if I find out about it after the fact, I'd be like, bitch, you still take this shit back, right?
Sure, listen. But
you can get me a simple gold circlet.
Yeah, because I feel you on the trip. Like, babe, we can take this money now. We can go enjoy this moment. And that's what we can do. So I get it.
Joshua said, my husband proposed to me on the beach with a dancing flash mob, all choreographed to Shaka's I Feel For You. It was a total surprise. And I mean, I get that. And I'm not shading anybody who does that. I'm just saying, for me, and maybe for that flash mob, I mean, okay, that's cute because, you got all these people to choreograph it and do all of that, but just randomly at a Beyonce concert. Now, it is cute that you coordinated it with Beyonce and she got the song and she's holding the song for you. So, I mean, I guess, but for the same reason that I don't want you to buy out the bar for me or get VIP for me or anything like that, I don't need you to do all of those sort of grand gestures. Don't prove love to me. It's how you treat me every day. And the other thing, if you know me, you know that those grand gestures, like I said, spend that $10,000 on taking us on a fabulous trip where all we got to do is stand in the room, ring the little bell, and have fun adventures and have sex all over that suite for the week.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, I had an ex that did that to me for my birthday. He sent me flowers to my good job.
Mm-hmm.
Big old dozen of roses. And I was just like, why the fuck did you do that? And on the inside, I was like, but I had to
my man. You my man, your coworkers are there. You see my man send me roses, right?
But I'm just saying,
that's my man. Who are the roses from? My man sent me those roses.
Right.
After this, me and my man, we going out to dinner. Because my man take me out for my birthday.
Right. And it was so funny because my boss at the time, in that same week, because it was my birthday, and I celebrate the whole month. It was that same, and I was like, oh, I gotta leave early. I said, because I'm going to go pick up my television that was bought for me. And she was like, well, damn, you just got back in the damn town. She said, you racking up all the men. I said, listen.
It's like, when you're sitting on good pussy, you're sitting on good pussy.
I was like, girl, listen. Now I'm sorry about your luck that you done drove all the way down to Florida and this woman that you met wasn't your cup of tea. So, I mean, I guess y'all just had a great time over eating saltines and some wine. But, baby, that's not my life. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
But, anyway.
So
but that,
Oh, you only had two or three stories anyway. Okay.
So yeah, it was two more, but I mean, these are, so one of them was News of the Weird, where in New Delhi, they're preparing for the G20 summit, and they tried to leave no detail left unaddressed. Now, Reuters reported, for example, rhesus monkeys are a menace on many of the city's streets, often attacking pedestrians. Now, the monkeys can't be harmed or removed by law, so the government had installed these life-size cutouts of langurs, which are bigger primates with black faces, around the city to scare the monkeys away. The New Delhi Municipal Council has also employed 30 to 40 people who mock the langur sound so that the monkeys will believe that they are real. And they said that we are seeing already a positive impact at that particular point. So I found that to be very interesting that, this is where we are and this is what we're doing with people and scaring off the monkeys at a damn conference. And the last story that I had was about Mexico decriminalizing abortion and extending Latin American trend of widening access to the procedure. Mexico Supreme Court threw out all federal criminal penalties for abortion Wednesday, ruling that the national laws prohibiting the procedure are unconstitutional and violates women's rights in a sweeping decision that extended Latin Americans' trend of widening abortion access. The High Court ordered that the abortion be removed from the federal penal code, and a reproduction rights group said the decision would require the Federal Public Health Service and all federal health institutions to offer abortion to anyone who requests it. And they said, and I quote, no woman or pregnant person nor any health worker will be able to be punished for abortion. This came from the information group for the Chosen Republic Reproduction, known by its Spanish initials, GIRE, said in a statement. They talked about how it was a victory for Mexican, it was a victory and justice for Mexican women, but also it started talking about what's going on in the United States and how we have criminalized the act of abortion, and the fact that many of our states are ran by more conservative um, conservative men and women in positions of power. And while right now it is illegal, in order for this to change, there needs to be there needs to be more unity amongst those states so that we can have a sweeping vote to change that. Whether that will happen sooner versus later, probably not sooner, but at some particular point, maybe later. So, yeah. And that's pretty much what this article was about as far as with Mexico. So, like I said, the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, and currently, like I said, it's banned throughout pregnancy. Abortion is banned throughout pregnancy with limited exceptions in 15 states. Bans in 2 more states forbid abortion after cardiac activity can be detected, generally around 6 weeks into pregnancy and often before women know that they're pregnant. So judges have put enforcement of restrictions on hold in at least 4 additional states. So again, congratulations congratulations to Mexico and the fact that you all are moving in what I feel is a positive direction to give some autonomy back to people and their bodies. But hopefully that will be something that will rub off once again, or come back into existence once again here in the States. But we shall see.
Yes. Well, all right. Let us roll some bean footage.
Cool. Alrighty. So listen, on a personal note, again, thank you all very, very, very much for all the kind words and the text messages. I will get to see and be in the company of family and chosen as well as biological tomorrow. And I'm asking for you all to just send some good juju, some good spirits, some pleasant thoughts as I am trying to get through this event. That's what we're going to call it. I've realized that what I can control is me. And so I will do my best to not make anything more than it needs to be. But I also know that I will have 2 of my bitches right there next to me. And whether we feed off each other or not, or all 3 of us, whatever the fuck we're going to do it together. So, but I'm also just sending out this word of thanks and word of appreciation, and again, acceptance for all the kind words or kind thoughts as I drive up this road tomorrow, and hopefully still have this pleasant glow that I'm trying to hold on to for tomorrow.
Right. The bail money is set. I have set aside, we say we got $50. I have set aside an extra $26.32 just in case the shit jump off.
So I definitely appreciate that. And I will definitely take that. But I'm so serious about that $50. Listen, there are very few people I will make an exception to go up to 100. Very, very few. So very few. But yes, but I get it. But
I mean, I got you for 100, but if I got to go up to 100,
listen, I get it. Like I said, I there's very few people I'm gonna go above that $50 for.
And don't be like old boys, like old girl's son in the Women of Brewster place that skipped town and they took her house.
Child. So just to give you a little insight into my mother and how, as a parent, she was, and I understood her. At the time, I thought it was cruel. However, I remember I had a moment where I thought I was going to get in trouble, and I was talking to my mom about all this stuff that could happen and everything else. The first thing out of my mother's mouth was, "Listen, I am not ever putting my house up for bail. So you do whatever you want to do, but I'm never putting my house up for bail." And I was just like, "Well, Dad, Mom, why would you say that?" She was like, "I'm not." She's like, "I'm just letting you know
you're a grown man. You made stupid decisions, so why should I be homeless?"
She was like, "I'm letting you know that now." And I was just like, "Lord have mercy." And at the time, I was like, in my 20s, I was like, "That is so cruel." But baby, listen, when you just said what you just said, this is why. She was like, "I ain't doing that shit. What the fuck? I'm trying to fucking help you out, and I'm gonna lose my shit trying to help you out."
Right.
No. So I get it. I absolutely get it. But I appreciate that tough parenting now. But at the time, I was just like, that was so cruel. But I get it. I absolutely get it, and I understand it.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully there will be some interesting tales next week. I'm going to a fancy Negro event because this weekend is the National Conference for HIV or whatever they call it. U.S. Conference on AIDS is what it is. It's here in D.C.
Okay.
And tomorrow they're having a fancy Negro event at fancy black gay. Well, it's not totally black and not totally gay, but it's mostly gay and a lot black Negro event at the National Building Museum. So I'm going to pull out one of my suits that I can now fit into. So
come on, sugar, get it together, make it pop, sparkle, and razzle dazzle.
Listen, I pop sugar. What is it? I drip sauce and pop sugar, some shit like that. Anywho, all right. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you and good night. Bye.